It's not.
So loud. Oh.
Do you guys use is it Archipic? How do you say it for Archipic?
I use Virtuals.
Okay. Well, I just used them. She took the pictures on Monday, and I feel like Jessica said that you usually get them like that night, and I haven't gotten them yet. Does that seem weird?
Is this for your pictures of your house?
The house, yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't know what their turnaround is. Like, I know most photo companies are like 24 to 48.
Yeah.
I've never seen, let me rephrase, I've never seen like a big company be able to get them back in under 24 hours.
I should send them an email.
But if it's been more than a few days.
Yeah.
Oh, you have another class going?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
No,
and
let's-
you're welcome to me. Are you going to be here in the morning?
Tomorrow, no. I could.
Call me in the morning if you aren't able to get the things split or anything like that, or if you want me to talk you through how to get it into command, or Sammy, either one of us can talk to you.
Yep.
I need your number.
I just do it. Oh, yeah, I can do it. You did?
Awesome.
A lot of people misspell it.
Or call you by the wrong name.
Okay. Our handwriting is very similar.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get started here shortly, guys.
All right. Okay. So I can call you in the morning and you'll help me get this sent to Market Center.
Yes. Because you'll get an email back when after you finish signing, because you'll be the last one to sign.
Okay.
So make sure and hang on to that. You can, in there, you'll be able to open the entire document, or it will have a link also to each individual one. But for some reason, they're not always all in there. So you have to go find them. Do you know that?
I always just go to the signings directly and find the individual documents there.
Oh, do you?
I never use the email because I just don't.
But it's going to do it all as one.
No, in the signings. So once it's complete, as you scroll down, there's separate signed documents.
Yeah, that's right. I just, for some reason, it will always leave out like one document if you do it through the email.
Oh yeah, no, I just don't trust the email when it comes in.
You are just in your transaction desk.
Also
I
accurate.
am in multiple people, so to go out and go back in, it's actually easier to just do it through email.
That's fair.
For me.
That's fair.
I will show her that way then.
Okay.
See, I never use that way because it's a pain.
Is it
Makes
going to
sense.
be hard to do over the phone?
Nope.
Okay.
Not the way she just told me. It'll be super
Okay.
easy. You won't have to split any documents.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if for some reason I'll be around tomorrow morning too. So
Okay. Thank you.
I always forget that people just are in their own transaction desk.
we're normal.
So my brain goes, ah! Especially Anna's, and like I said, she gave me 6 all at the same time. We're sorting them out, emails and earnest money here and earnest money there, and yeah,
Cool.
everywhere in earnest money. All right.
Bye, ladies.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. So we got 3 of you. We got Irene, Cassandra, Amy. Welcome. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
So today's class is all about MLS, how you can, there's a couple tools in here, a couple little tricks to get really the most bang for your mandatory buck. Because we have to pay it, so you might as well get some use out of it. everything's accessed through your Matrix MLS. If you are using Paragon or Flex MLS, all of the stuff exists in there. I just don't have access to it because I'm only paying for the one MLS. And I didn't want to change because I didn't want to learn something new. And most people are using the Matrix MLS. So that's where I just stayed. The first thing that I want to show you guys is how you can customize some of your dashboards. So that way it's truly useful for you versus whatever the default is. I don't even remember what the default is at this point, but really easy. You can, any of these things you can drag, you can drop, you can remove from the dashboard. If I wanted my stats, I could put those out. If I wanted a search bar on here, I could do that. This portion is truly up to you. Whatever is important to you. For me, I like to see who's logging into the MLS, their portal views. I can see what they favorited, what they possibled, and even any notes they leave for me. And I can also create some favorite searches. I can view my listings, and anything that I don't have lives in this additional spot. So
Wait, Sammy, can I ask you, how do you get the searches in your favorite? You put them there?
So how I do that is literally just go to search and create a search, whether it's general or single family or whatever it is, put in whatever I am looking for. So for instance, if I were doing one active, why is that not updating? Well, okay, there we go. I'm like, why does it still say 2,500? And then once you have your results, there's on the bottom, one of the options is save. And you could do a new saved search. And you'll literally title it whatever you want to title it. If it's for a client, you can do that. And then on here, it's enable as a search, favorite search on your home.
Oh, so you just have to click that box, and you can go in and do that on a search that you already have established. You can save it to your favorites.
Yep.
Okay.
You'll notice it does say a 10 maximum. So what I would suggest is maybe not do it for like every single buyer or every single situation. Like this one, it's for James and I, because we are in the process of starting very initial looking for us. So I have for us. Other favorite searches that I've set up in the past are searches around some of my listings, like a listing that was kind of one of those, we weren't totally sure if it was priced where it should. So we created a favorite search. So anything that popped up for that property, I could see right on our homepage without trying to set the search up every time. Or what other people have done is if they have a farm area, you could set it up as a search for your farm. You can set up a search for pretty much anything you could think of. But like I said, you only have 10, so use it with a little bit more discernment versus just whatever you feel like at the time.
Thank you.
Sammy,
Yeah.
going off of the save searches, is there a once I didn't save it to my favorites, but is there a quick way to get to the save searches?
So under My Matrix, there's a lovely button that says
Oh,
Save
see, I
Searches.
knew there would be a way. I think I went a roundabout way, not that quick.
It's the MLS is a big beast, and there is always like 5 billion ways to get to one thing. One being very direct and one being very, very roundabout.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And that is a very good segue to my matrix. That was going to be my next conversation. You'll notice I have my recent portal visits, and that is one of my auto emails. At any time, if you have an update to a search for a client, you can pull up your auto emails and go in and change that criteria. So say she wanted to up her price to 400, I can go in, update it to 400 if I can type, and then I can either see the matches or I can save it. And because this is a active client, I will not be upping hers to 400 and apparently having an error. That's awesome. So let's just go to auto emails back. You can also change your settings for your auto emails in here. So you'll notice there's a little column that says concierge. Concierge is really, really beneficial for clients that they are looking for something very, 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 very specific, and you can't really search for it. For instance, they absolutely don't want wood paneling whatsoever. Now, granted, not all pictures are going to show if it has wood paneling or not, but you can't search for wood paneling on the inside of a house. So that instance would be really good to use that enable concierge mode, because what will happen is anytime a listing pops up that matches the search criteria that you put in for it, you can, as the agent, go in and approve or reject different properties that may or may not be a good fit for your client. Make sense? Any questions on that? I've used concierge mode quite a bit, especially for clients that are like, oh, I don't care, it just needs to be turnkey, but you've shown them properties and you know what they like and don't like by a certain point. Like they keep saying no to the same style, like they've seen 5 split, 5 ramblers, or 5 3 splits and 5 2 splits, and they absolutely do not like the 3 splits whatsoever. Well, that's a bad example because you could just take out the 3 splits, but anything that's gives the extra little client service, so that way they're not getting the random listings that they're just going to delete out of their portal anyways. You can always delete auto emails. I delete all my auto emails as soon as my buyers are done with me. I also, under settings, can disable their emails. So what I do typically is when I go under contract with a buyer and they are fully pending in the MLS, they're past the inspection and everything, I disable their emails because mainly they don't need it anymore because they have a pending property. And more importantly, they don't have the, oh, this one was so much better thought. And then they start second guessing themselves, and it goes down a dangerous rabbit hole that way. And I try to prevent that from happening. So I will come in and disable it. I won't delete it until they close, but I will disable it until they close. Some of the other things within the My Matrix, you can have what's called my carts. I don't have any right now, but you can create different carts. This is where I usually put in all of my listings and create carts for properties that would be my competition for my listing. And you can use carts very similar to save searches or favorite searches rather, but you don't have to. I'm checking on our video, our last meeting. Are you talking about team meeting, Sandra?
No, just this last one that you did, like the tips and tricks instant
Oh,
and
yeah,
command.
absolutely. I will.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Absolutely. You're welcome. All right, so the next little tab that I go through is the search tab. You'll notice there's single family, general, multifamily, lots, land, commercial, farm, cross property. All of these are going to have the same similar default search capabilities. General is going to be able to search all of those, where single family, multifamily, lots, land, commercial, farm, and cross property are going to be very specific. Well, cross property is all kinds as well. But if you know you're only looking for single families, there's no reason to utilize general or cross property when you can just search under single families. And in that general tab of that single family, these additional fields are your friend. If you have not played with these, you can segment your search for your clients even farther, including like basements. And you'll notice I have a lot of additional fields because I am horrible and don't delete them when I don't need them anymore. And I use a lot of these on a regular basis. So I'm like, I'll just leave them. And you could search and then save the results for your clients based on these fields as well. All right, so the next fantastic thing is under tools. The first thing is showing time, actually. So I don't know about you guys, but I never know what order to put showings in if I'm doing multiple showings in one day. There is an option called showing cart. And you can actually create, let's go to this one since it has a bunch. So you can actually create a bunch of different showings and be able to see, all right, so if we start here and this is a 24-minute drive to the next one, how long I could see exactly when I should probably, well, not exactly, but I can guesstimate of when I should do that second showing. Same thing for the third, fourth, and fifth showing. And when you are creating a brand new one, let's create one for Saturday. As you're adding listing stops, let's go pull up one of Angie's listings. You can do this directly out of the MLS as well. You could create that showing cart. But if you're in showing time directly, you can just pull up their MLS numbers. So if I wanted to say I was starting at my home, oh, that's in the wrong. I can say we're starting at home, And then I could see how long of a drive it is to the first showing. And there's also an option called Smart Route. So if the more showings I added, so if I had one over here in Hammond, and then also one in Bayport, I can use this Smart Route and it will actually populate which ones you should do first. And you can add stops, you can do pretty much anything. And you'll be able to see how long of a drive it is from between each location. And you can also pick, well, that one's not showing, but this one, you can pick the showing time, how long it is, all the usual stuff that you would think to be able to do, and then do the same thing for the other one. And right up here is your send request button. So you can create your showing cart all in one swoop and send all of the requests in the right order that you need to go in right from the start. Make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so the next one is Remind. So we're back in the matrix. I know I've done a full class on Remind, so I will not be doing a huge class for it, but in case you have not seen Remind, I want you to see it now. Remind is free to us. It never used to be. And you can utilize Remind for a lot of things. You can use Remind to update your database. You can use Remind to find a geographical farm. You can use Remind to just putz around and see where your neighborhood and see if it's a good geographical farm. The search button is where you actually start all of that. You can literally search for anything. So I can search for properties. You'll also notice I have some people in there. I could search for people. If I had the MLS number, I can even look for other agents if I really wanted to. And what happens is all of these dots are actual properties. And when I search for a property, you'll have two options. You'll have home details or show it on the map. And then along the right side, you can filter out any properties that you don't want to see. And if you wanted to see the specific house details, you can open it up. Let's move this over here. And then what's the really powerful part is this owners and associated people. In here, you will notice there is a button that says contact information. In there, you will be able to see their email, their phone number, and even if they're on the do not call list. And anyone that's could be associated with that property will show up there as well. One word of caution, if you are utilizing this, do know that it's not 100% accurate. It does have some not accurate information at all. For instance, for a while, James and my house had like 4 people that, from what we could tell, have never lived in our house. They weren't the previous seller. They weren't the previous renters. We have no idea where they came from, but they were listed as associated people with us. And I am also not listed as an associated person with our house. So just keep that in mind if you are utilizing Remind to update your database or find geographical farms or anything like that. All right. If you want to learn more about Remind, feel free, set up a time with me. We can do that on a one-on-one. I will probably be doing another class here at some point soonish. I've not looked at August calendar yet, so it very well could be in August.
So,
All
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
Was the class that you've done before, was that recorded? Like, could we find it somewhere?
Probably.
Okay.
Well, if people were there, I know I've taught it like to actual people. So as long as
Okay.
people are there, the classes are recorded. Because I find it really hard to just talk to myself and teach, because it's
Sure.
really not easy.
No, I agree.
So as long as people were at the class, I have it recorded, but I'm pretty confident I have one recorded. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you.
Thanks. Otherwise, I'll look too after this.
Sounds good. All right, so the next section. I personally have not dived, or not. Well, I won't show you the down payment assistance. That, from what I understand, that will help agents determine what programs could be available for certain properties, especially if it's like a city-specific down payment assistance program. Like I know Woodbury does a down payment assistance program. So you can pull up the address, and you can even pull it up in the MLS itself. There is, I know, one of these, or they got rid of down payment assistance. That shows how much I've used that. I knew it existed, and apparently it doesn't exist anymore. So just kidding. Ignore down payment resource. What I do use a lot of is the Realtor's Property Resource, otherwise known as RPR. I personally like the CMAs that you can create in RPR a little bit better than the ones you can create in MLS. They look a little cleaner. You can make it look a little bit more modern versus sort of a 90s look on the MLS one. However, RPR is not going to be the greatest for rural locations or super unique properties. And when I say rural or super unique, and I mean that the house might not have another property near it for like a half mile to a mile, or it's like in a development, but it has like 7 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and it's like 3,300 square feet, and it's a development of normally like 1,200 square feet and like 2 bedrooms, 2 baths type of thing. Those are going to be a little harder to utilize RPR, so you'll have to use the CMA within Matrix. But what I will show you is under reports. Come on. I know I have one. There it is. So you can say what you want in the report by adding and removing checkboxes. Let me download the report and show you what it actually looks like. So this was a report that we did just as a very basic market update. It is not a super detailed market analysis, but it gives a basic. You can give your comp analysis based on comparables, and there is a what's called an RVM, and that's what the RPR, the equivalent of the RPR's estimate. However, it's a lot more accurate than like Zillow's estimate, so it at least looks better, as evident by the RVM is 328, but my comp has it at about 348, give or take a little bit. So it's not going to be quite so Zillow-esque. And all of these pages were the ones that I chose to update in here. You can choose from the pages that will have property history, your comps, market activity, including active, pending, sold, distressed, expireds, all of that stuff. And you can even include a seller proceed sheet. But like I said, this one just was a basic down and dirty market update for this potential client. And I know I've done a bigger class on RPR, but that, and there's not a huge amount of learning curve on RPR, so it's pretty easy. Like I said, I like it because it's easy. It's a little bit more modern. It's a little bit more colorful. It's not so boring looking. So, and there's no right or wrong. So, and there's also marketing materials that you can create. You can create flyers. You can create marketing materials for buyers or sellers. And it walks you through everything. So I like RPR. It's super robust for being free. Any questions there? All right, so the next one that I'm going to go over is InfoSparks. We all have access to the market stats from like SPAR and MAR. What InfoSparks does is it's a lot more detailed, and you can get this updated a lot quicker than like the SPAR and MAR market stats. And you can search by the 7-county metro, the 16-county metro, and even the 13-county and even the 16-county metro. And then you can also go even farther of specific neighborhoods within Minneapolis and St. Paul. Otherwise, you can just go for all of the counties. And I feel like there was one more search. Oh, school district and postal code is the different search capabilities that you can search by. And all of it, you're going to have down the bottom. Let me move that. You can see how many new listings there were in June. So there was 7,300 new listings in Anoka County. You can see how many homes are for sale. You can see how many pending listings are, how many closed in June. You can see their average days on market. So 12 apparently. You can see their month supply. So there's 1 currently. You can see their average sales price. You can see their original list price. And then you can also see what's super kind of helpful is how many showings per listing are on average. So in Anoka County, there's on average 15.4 showings before it goes pending. So that's really good information to have for your sellers. And you'll also notice not only you can search by the county and city and all that fun stuff, you can also say, all right, I want to know about Washington County. Let's go even farther. Let's go to Cottage Grove, and I want to look at all the townhouses of previously owned, because I know there's a bunch of brand new townhouses, but I'm not totally caring about that. And my townhouse falls under 1,500 square feet, and it's 2 bedrooms, and there's no waterfront. So I want to see all of the stats that match my specific property that I'm looking at. So I have 12 showings per listing, and my average sale price is $185 for all the townhouses that match those criterias. So you can get really, really granular and very specific on what you're looking for. You can also even sort by price range.
Sammy, can you print this?
Yeah. So there's a print button right at the top of the graph. And what it does is gives you a nice branded, gives you the little graph charts, goes back a couple years. You could choose how far it goes back by the duration. If you want to show 5 years, or if even just the 1 year, you can print just the last year of market data. So you could tell our Cottage Grove townhomes kind of bottom out in winter time because nobody wants to move in the winter time in our area. And then the price started going back up come summertime.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you will also notice there's 2 options. You can, or well, 2 steps and several options. There's an option called static. That's what you are seeing right now. And there is also an option called live. You can actually utilize, why is that not cooperating with me? I know you could switch it. Oh, there we go. That might help. You could choose live and you can embed it on your website or on social media, and actually anytime someone sees it, they'll see the most updated information. I would probably not be so specific like Cottage Grove townhouses that are under 1,500 square feet, but I would probably do like your county or your city, and all property types if you're going to use that live option, because that way at any time someone can simply see what's going on with the market for that specific area.
Sammy, if you put that on social media, would that be like if you hit share, would that just be today? It would
So
just show
it
up.
will be a URL, and what will happen is anytime they click on this link, this will update. So the link that you share on social media will be right there, and there'll be if they were to click on this in 2 months, they would see the updated data.
So then you have to manually copy and paste that link and paste it on your social media.
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And I like InfoSparks because it's a lot of detail, which is not always a good thing. But when you're trying to learn the market and trying to figure it out, is really kind of cool to see some of the data that you can pull. Any questions? I'm going to close out some of my tabs. The last thing that I was going to show is back on, where is it here? Okay, so this is one of those that I think only exists right in this external links button, this share my listings widget. When you have active listings, I don't right now, so it's harder to show this and share this. But what will happen is it will show up all of your listings, and you can actually share right from the MLS your listing. You can also add this onto your Facebook account. One of the options is my listings in Facebook. I know there's a way to do it. I've done it, but I did it like years ago, so I don't totally remember how to do it. If you want to know how to do it, I can create a video for you and show you how to do it. 'Cause I know I did it for someone recently, and I know you start it in Facebook, and then you basically, what you're doing is going to look for a Facebook setup code. And then you can also change any of the themes. Like for instance, I have the tree background, so you can make it your own. And that is all I had for you. Any questions?
Sorry, Sammy, I have a question. Does the MLS have any like real quick videos or trainings that if we were just going in to look at one specific, oh, there it is, YouTube.
How-to videos YouTube channel. I love their channel. It actually has a lot of information on it. There's a lot of videos, there's a lot of playlists. Heck, like for brand new agents, I point them to one of these playlists because I can't make anything better than that because they're the ones that created it. So they know all the fun stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then you can always search their YouTube channel right here. Anything else?
Thank you. That was good to know.
Good. I'm glad. You all know where to find me if you have any questions. I will see if I can find that remind video. I know I have it. It's just a matter of where.
And like I said, I can look too.
All right. Thanks, ladies. Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you, Sammy.
Bye.